You said 1. You didn't think I was ready yet.
No, I saw you reaching for something. I,
Yeah,
I wanted to
well,
make
the
sure we.
volume the other day was a little bit too loud, so I figured I'd cut it back just a little bit. Before we talk about jersey numbers on this Wednesday afternoon, Ryan, it's great to have you back on. Rain looks like a little bit of rain coming. I know our uncle is not into rain, so I know I woke up this morning and I talked to you about thunderstorms. I don't know if Storrs, Connecticut gets a lot of rain up there or not. I like to hear back from some of the people that watch this. Obviously, we talk about basketball, and now people think we're turning into meteorologists talking about weather now. But yeah, I'd like to see. I'm curious how much rain they get if it's like Washington State up there or not. I don't think they get too much, Ryan. But yeah, we talked about it this morning. Our uncle's not going to be too happy. Strong storms moving through this area tonight. I don't. I'm not too sure how you sleep.
Yeah, I don't know either tonight, and then I think all day Saturday. But I mean, I know it gets pretty cold up there in Connecticut near stores. But yeah, I'm not sure how much it rains up there. But looks like a pretty dreary night tonight, and then all day Saturday. So
All right, this is numbers day. So I'll just go ahead and say, how about in the number 80? That's 80 degrees right now. It's 80 degrees outside. Let's get into some other numbers, some other more important numbers, and that's jersey numbers, Ryan. Going over 3 big names today. And we'll start off with the transfer, Lou Lopez. And she was assigned number 11. I saw the total players to wear it is 8. 8 total in UConn women's basketball history. The most recent, Mir McLean, most notable, Kia Nurse. I like how they broke this down because I just say very quickly, you could tell your part on why you like jersey numbers so much, but I'll go ahead and break it to you now. Side story, other than just going on and reading the facts, yeah, she got this number, she got this jersey number. I like the story that sits behind it. And that's why I told you I wanted to definitely come on today and talk to you about this. Um, jersey numbers for people that aren't into sports, they carry a lot more meaning than just a number on their back usually. And I think it's very interesting because 9 times out of 10, you don't really find out why. Now I don't know so much in college, but I know professional level, I think you get to pick your jersey numbers more often.
yeah.
With that said, Ryan, I just like the fact that there's nothing written. There's nothing written in stone says, okay, you have to let the media know the story behind your jersey number. Sometimes, and that's what's so beautiful about it. Sometimes these players, college, high school, college, professional, they're wearing the numbers on their back, on their front. And sometimes there's a big story behind it. I know it's a lot of times I heard of different athletes where they lost a younger brother or a sister at an early age. And that age where they passed away, they put that jersey number on their back to represent them, to keep them strength, to keep them going in ball games, to keep them blessed so they don't get injured. It's very, so that's what I wanted to tell you. A lot more meaning today that we go on, Ryan, other than just telling everybody, okay, she got this jersey number and she got that jersey number.
Yeah, Lou keeping her same number than what she played when she was in Fairfield. But yeah, I mean, I think for some people, it's just like, what's it really matter? It's just a jersey number. Why does it really
Mm-hmm.
matter? And maybe for some athletes that might be the case. Maybe there is no special meaning. But yeah, like you just mentioned, maybe it's for a family member. Maybe it's for their birthday. Maybe it carries a really special meaning and that they don't have to share it, but sometimes it is really nice to see. You get to see the articles of some professional players and what it really means to them. And it sometimes it is, we talk about, it's more than sports, and sometimes just
Mm-hmm.
the jersey number you play with on the front or back of your jersey, it is sometimes more than sports. So it's always nice to see a special jersey number. But yeah, Lou keeping the same number that she played with in Fairfield. She played pretty well in Fairfield. We had that episode when UConn signed her over, and you guys supported that like crazy. So we can't thank you guys enough. That's the most viewed video on our channel, Lou Lopez. So I know a lot of people are excited to see what she can bring to UConn this season, the senior from Fairfield. So can't wait to see what we have in store for this season for her.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. I mean, that was overwhelming. I mean, that was big support right there. And I was shocked. I still am, to see people catching up on that episode. Um, With that said, yeah. So, I mean, you go over Lou Lopez, very good breakdown on her. And then you have Ice Brady. She was assigned number 25, Ryan. Total players to wear it, 9. Most recent was Kyla Irwin. And then the most notable, Selena Abrismova, 97 to 01. That's way before our time, before we were covering UConn basketball. You weren't even born yet.
No, we always have fun pronouncing some of these names. I know people get on us in the
They'll be
comments.
on me about that one. A
That's
true diehard Huskies fan will know how to say that name just like you know how to say the most basic word in the English language.
Yeah, it's probably sometimes it's the hardest thing to do is pronouncing these names because sometimes we go on before the episode, we're trying to search where we can find somebody says the name right. But Ice Brady sticking with their same number, still ranked at number 5 in the class, of course, had an episode on her. Currently playing on the USA 18 national team as well. I saw highlights of her yesterday, shooting the ball, putting some nice moves on her defenders. So nice to see she's doing well on that national team. Keeping the same number she wore in high school. So, and Patterson is as well. She's keeping the same number, 34 she wore in high school at Homestead in Indiana, and Patterson still ranked at number 4 in the class. So I believe she is currently with the Huskies in the summer workouts. So watching her closely in the summer workouts to see how she's doing.
So I hope you see the trend that I was getting at. You had Patterson. Who was it? Patterson and Brady. I think they're keeping their same numbers from high school.
Yep, correct.
And then Lou Lopez. She's keeping her same jersey number that she had all 4 years at the college. What was that, Fairfield?
Yep.
Before she transferred to UConn. So I hope you see the trend that I was discussing with you, that, it has a special meaning. It might not be a sibling that passed away at an early age. It may not be a mother or a father that passed away at an early age. But that number to me, and that goes for any sport. I just really love that because I never really found that out until I started really paying attention to it. Those numbers, man, baseball, football, basketball, whatever you want to, even hockey, I'm sure. Those numbers sometimes have a big, big meaning other than just the number being outlined and stitched on that jersey.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, for me, I never really paid much attention to it before really the past couple year, and really when when the story came out about these 3 players keeping their same number, I did a little research into why the players keep their number and about how it holds a special meaning to some players. So it definitely is more important than it is just a jersey number. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's really special to see the meaning it has to some players.
All right, comment time. And before we get into comments, Ryan, I know I'm getting ready to make a trip over to your side of town later on this afternoon, and I can't wait. We'll say that one is a surprise. I think I already broke the news anyway about an episode or 2 ago, but I cannot wait. A very special guest coming on with us in about less than 3 hours, really. So that's a big one. That's a big one. Man.
Very excited. Can't wait.
First future UConn Husky ever on this podcast. That's big. That's big. I just wanted to shout out again to her mom and her whole family for making this come true, because I know you and I can't thank them enough.
Yeah, really appreciate them, reaching back to us and getting in touch and scheduling the interview. So I can't wait. It's definitely going to be fun.
Comments. UConn Huskies to take on the Maryland Terps. That was yesterday, Ryan, and we will get into Grobel's comment. The free transfer without sitting out has already changed the game. Just after 2 years of implementation, kids are going to leave quicker than in the past and not stick things out with a coach, or if they don't see the roster as great as and likely to compete for championships. Maryland had a snowball effect that some other schools had this offseason. Once you lose one of the top players often, another top players follow. That's a good point. Just like the National Football League, Ryan. They
Yeah.
may feel the team or NBA. They will feel the team will not be as good as they thought, able to win as much and reach the Final Four. You're probably thinking about LeBron James and the Lakers on that one.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, we're especially seeing that in basketball now. All these star players teaming up is crazy. Starting to see it a little bit in football too. I hope it never gets like that in college, because I think that's really something special that college has separate from the professional league, is
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
see all of this trading and
Well,
transferring.
and the balance, because you
Yeah, more
always
of a
want,
balance. Yeah,
right.
but
You always want that unless you're a fan of that specific team. I keep telling you, Ryan, you always want that close ball game. I mean, you may have some fans out there that will admit to you, Ryan, that yeah, we love to see blowout ball games. Well, I'm sure UConn Huskies fans love it too, but at the same time, man, I mean, if you're a true fan of just a sport, it's a beautiful. They're just like the North Carolina State game. What was that, double overtime? I mean, who can complain about that being a bad game when we received 50, 100 comments talking about how great that game was?
yeah, game of the year for sure. And we've seen it a couple times in the last few years for UConn, and this past year with Piath Gabriel transferring, Mira McLean also transferring away. And it's really hard on UConn because, or, once the players get to UConn, because there's
Yeah.
so many players, so many good players already on UConn. And, if the players think they won't get enough minutes, or they think they can't get in the lineup, I see no problem, have no problem with them transferring and trying out another team, another coach, and seeing if they can fit in better.
Next one, Iva. How about Iva? She goes, I like the schedule for this season. There will be some great games, no matter if players are big or small. You need to know how to put a team together. In that, Gino and his coaches have plenty of experience. The point is never to force a group of players to play together that doesn't have chemistry. For example, coming back, I just said it, coming back to the Lakers. Gino said he had players that liked each other but didn't have chemistry. And he also had players that didn't like each other but had great chemistry on the floor. For this group, I think they are special, and that is accredited to the kind of people they are. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad she brought that up, Ryan. This is your spotlight. I know I keep talking after every comment. You have to excuse me. Now I'm starting to be the one to talk and not you after these comments. But there's such great comments with people coming through. You have to think about that too. We talk about the performance on the court, but just think if it's almost like a workforce, in the workplace. If you don't get along with people on that court, your own teammates, doesn't that think that that's going to affect just a little, maybe 1%, just a little bit of how you perform at the end of the day and decide how far you get in a season or whether you get eliminated early?
Very true. That's exactly right. And that's why I think everybody on UConn, all the players have so much chemistry, especially the team from last year. And I would expect the same of the team from the team, the team from this year as well. But I think with all the different starting lineups from last year, I think there was 10 or 11 different starting lineups that we had at the end of the season, by the end of the season. But there just has to be so much chemistry with all the moving in and out of the lineups. And for UConn last year to be able to keep it together and keep winning games, keep riding out the storm with all the moving around was really incredible to see. And I think that really goes to show how much the coaches really keep the players in check, and just making sure they know, they know. It's almost like they know what the other player is going to do before they do it. It's that type of chemistry they have
Yeah.
on the court that it's really special to see it sometimes.
So how about a couple of more comedy, more on the comedy side, these comments. Situation solved. You wear Maryland gear for the first half and UConn wear the second half. Simple. I thought about that. People were starting I appreciate it. They heard me about making my mind up what gear to wear to this game that we will be going to. Yeah, I thought about it. The more I thought about it, and then John came through. John said UConn 85, Maryland 60. I agree, somewhere around there. Yeah, Ryan. But with that said, I kind of thought about, they gave me a good idea. I mean, since it's a podcast of two, I'll wear the Maryland gear, and I'm sure you wouldn't have a problem with wearing that UConn gear.
No, I for sure wouldn't have a problem with wearing UConn gear. That was my plan, bro. Because I don't have any Maryland gear at all. Live in
No.
Maryland
Well,
and
that's
don't
a
have
deal
any.
then, huh? That's a deal. We'll make that a deal then. I'll be dressed down in Maryland, and then you'll be dressed down in Huskies gear. And then how about we shout out to everybody and say, hey, if you're from UConn or if you're not, try to point us out, try to spot us out in the crowd and stop by and say hello. We would absolutely love, just as to point that out there now for anybody listening, we would absolutely love to meet some of you guys if you are going to that ball game. I know Ryan, you would probably love it just as much as me meeting some of our viewers and followers.
Yeah, for sure. If you happen to spot us down there, don't be shy to come up to us and say what's up, and we'll definitely talk to you.
And let's see here. Going to John actually came through 3 times, I believe. So thank you for that. I hope we get actually this is let's see, UConn. This year UConn Huskies will go undefeated right through the national championship game.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold prediction. I mean, I've been saying kind of throughout the off season, I really do believe this team has what it takes to win the national championship. But I mean, undefeated. I mean, that it's so hard to do. But we've seen UConn do it in the past, so I think it's definitely possible. But undefeated, you really don't see that a lot in any
Yeah.
sport. It's so hard to do. But I think this team this year, I really do think they have a lot of chemistry. They have a lot of depth. And I really honestly do believe they have a real shot at winning the national championship.
Man, well, you're starting to sound like Maria now. I mean, she was pretty confident when she came on with us, wasn't she? So
Yeah,
it
she
should
was. She was.
it should get very interesting. I know I saw some comments that I wanted to go over with you from the last, not the last episode, not this episode, but I think the one before that. They were still commenting on that one very well, and then the summer workouts video. So we would try to get to them. Some of them ones that caught my eye, see what Ryan has to say about them. But for now, Ryan, we will get on out of here. The big interview. I can't wait. We all know you can't wait. And Ryan, tomorrow, do you have a topic for me? You were talking about one of our favorites, even though she hasn't stepped on the court yet in Stores. What had happened to her? There was some news behind that.
Yeah, Ice Brady competing on the USA 18 national team. I'll have to see if any other articles came out or any other news, but I think that might be the topic for tomorrow. But we'll have to see. I saw some highlights of her the other day. She was looking pretty good out there.
That's all coming up tomorrow. Ryan, listen up. Presented by Dempsey's and Sportsland. Ryan, I'm out.